So I heard something very interesting today from Jordan Peterson. Um, I find most of what Jordan Peterson says is very interesting. I'm a huge fan. And he was talking about creative people. And the discussion or the interview was with it's probably like an art director of a museum. So they were talking about actual artists like visual artists and musicians. Um, but what was interesting was Jordan Peterson talked about creative people in a very general, fundamental sense. And they kind of started off the discussion talking about the psychological makeup of politically conservative people and politically liberal people. So you have the conservatives and liberals. The conservatives tend to be very conscientious, um, but they have no taste. They're Philistines, basically. And you have liberals who are not very conscientious, but they're very creative. And that was interesting because I always thought of creativity like probably most people. They think of creativity as like music or visual art. But the way Jordan Peterson described creativity was like this. He said, if a person hears, say a conservative hears about a concept, um, that's all they'll talk about, just that one concept, and the conversation is done, right? Whereas a liberal, you know, a more creative person would hear that concept, and then immediately they would think of two or three other concepts. And then as they talked about those two or three other concepts, they would come up with even more concepts, right? And when I heard that, I was like, wait a second, that's what I do. That's what I've always done ever since I was a kid. Um, so this idea of, am I actually a creative person? And I think I actually might be, which is shocking and very strange. And anybody who knows me, like, will they'll never think like, oh, Mark's a creative person. Say, oh, he's diligent, he's hardworking, he's conscientious. And I think what it is, I have both. And it's often a struggle going back and forth between the two. But the reason I really paid attention to this is because Jordan Peterson also said, if you are a creative person and you don't do creative work, then you're going to die on the vine. You have to do creative work because you're a creative person. So, I've been lately and over long periods of time, I've been um, very anxious, and I feel I feel weak is the best way to put it. Um, Little things get to me really fast and really hard. Little stresses that I could just ignore, but I'm not ignoring, and they're getting to me. And so I thought, well, maybe I need to be less conscientious. Maybe I need to do less work. But what I realized is that that's probably not I think what it is. I need to be more creative. Like, I need to fuel the creative side of me more. That will bring more joy, vitality into my life. It'll give me more energy. The other part of it is that as a business owner and as a father, as a husband, as a friend, as a jujitsu team leader and training partners, I'm always one of my gifts I know is like nurturing people. That's just always been one thing I've been good at. But I think what I do sometimes is I don't take care of myself. That sounds really terrible, but I don't do the things that give me joy, right? I don't do the things that I want to do. I don't talk about the things that I want to talk about because I need to take care of other people. So I've decided that I'm gonna do more creative stuff, and I'm gonna create passion projects for myself. And the way I'm going about defining it is, number one, they have to be about me and me only. I laugh when I say this because it makes me feel guilty. But I think creative enterprise, creative projects, or any creative type of endeavor is inherently selfish. Not in a bad way, but um, but it has to be something that I enjoy, that I want to do. It's not for other people. What that also means is that, my business philosophy is always that business is about helping other people. It's about serving other people, and then they pay you money in return, right? This whole like find your passion thing. If you find your passion, then you'll never work a day in your life. I think that's horseshit. Who's gonna pay you to um, so you can be happy? No, they're gonna pay you so they can be happy and get what they want. Anyway, there will be no business element to any of these passion projects. I'm not doing it for other people. I'm not trying to get views, or I'm not trying to create an audience necessarily. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not trying to make money or anything. Nothing. Just because I want to do it. This video is the start of that. I wanted to talk about this, and so I'm talking about it. It's fun, and that's it. So if you are listening to this, I think number one, go to YouTube, type Jordan Peterson creativity. You'll see a ton of videos. So watch that. Ask yourself, am I a creative person? You might be, and you just didn't know, like me. Number two, if you are, then maybe I would suggest, like me, try to create some passion projects. Stuff that, make you happy, the stuff that you want to do, stuff that you want to create. And yeah, I'm just going to make a bunch of videos on this stuff.